honestly, she has never had a single-digit scoring game. That's 86 games, by the way. And for the third year in a row, Tiffany, she has led the Pac-12 in scoring and steals, something that never has been done. Plays with a ton of emotion.
Well, Arizona McDonald is a baller for sure. You talked about that Pac-12 Player of the Year. She can absolutely do it all. Meanwhile, this is a Stony Brook team is like, hey, look, we are not afraid. We are fourth in the nation in scoring defense nationally. We're coming off a historic run, canceled last year because of the tournament due to COVID-19 pandemic, but they said, you know what, we'll make another run at it again. Historic run, first ever NCAA tournament appearance for the Seawolves, and we are underway from the Alamo Dome. You know, the national championship will be played right here on April 4th. Stony Brook gets it underway. The bucket goes in quickly as we take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Mackenzie Boucher got on the board for Stony Brook. Taking a look at that Arizona starting lineup, Sam Thomas, also a great player there. Big collision there on the court, and Arizona comes up with it. They are in the white uni. Stony Brook repping the red out of Long Island. Arizona from the Pac-12, and they quickly go inside to Trinity Baptiste, the Virginia Tech grad transfer who has provided an immediate boost for this ball club this season. We'll introduce you to the Stony Brook lineup brought to you by Capital One. Asia Dingle, Anastasia Warren goes by Annie Warren. Those are the two to watch out for. 3 and 4 in red. They were the ones responsible for 51 of Stony Brook's 64 points in that championship game win over Maine. There's a look at Annie Warren, who had a career high 31 points. A partner in crime, Asia Dingle, at the line, knocking down the first free throw.
Yeah, these two really make Stony Brook go offensively. They're dynamic playmakers, especially off the bounce. Annie Warren can hit the three. That's something that Arizona has to make sure they're covering along the perimeter.
And it'll be interesting just to see how many points both of these teams put up. You mentioned, Steffi, just how strong they are defensively.
Yeah. Both
holding opponents to low numbers, 56 for the Wildcats. We mentioned just under 51 points for Stony Brook.
Stony Brook, third in the country in terms of scoring defense. They're showing a little bit of zone to try to slow up the dribble penetration by Arizona. It hasn't been successful, and what makes Arizona so good is on makes they get into a man-to-man full court press.
Leaning into that one was Kate Reese. Kate Reese, a 3-year starter for this Arizona ball club, just really been consistent throughout her career out of Cypress, Texas, so this is a homecoming for her. Arizona doubled their lead, 8-4 early on, bringing some pressure on defense, kicking it over, good ball movement along the perimeter. Dribble, pull up, shot clock violation on the Seawolves.
You know, great bucket for Arizona in transition. After this play, Trinity Baptiste shoving her team in. I love, that's the tenacity and toughness that the senior brings. She is so grateful to be out there, and she's really made a difference in just a year in that Arizona jersey. Transferred in from Virginia Tech.
And look at there, saving the ball there. That hustle, those hustle plays, and she is rewarded with the bucket. Arizona McDonald on the assist. Back the other way come the Seawolves, missing there, but this is a good start early on for Arizona, who's struggled to find some of their offensive efficiency this season, the pull-up in transition, and that's where they're so dangerous.
Yeah, Tiff, their defense right off the gate has been tremendous. Just on-ball pressure, full court press. It's brought life to their offense, which can be stagnant at times. Watching Arizona McDonald, how can you not? But it has slowed their offense. But when their defense is really forcing turnovers, that's when they excel.
And coming back and
Nice
snaking
attack.
her way through the lane. Yeah. Asia Dingle, team's leading scorer, had 20 points, as we mentioned, in that championship game out of the America East, despite missing the first half in that game with foul trouble. Another great cut, backdoor, Reese again. So Ari McDonald helping to facilitate, also getting on the board with 4 points as well, making a difference early on for this Arizona ball club.
What impresses me the most about Ari McDonald is just her ability to see through much taller defenders. She's only 5'6", but she's got tremendous court vision because she always keeps her eyes up. Now, some players who are taller, they can just naturally see, but it's a concerted effort by Ari McDonald to keep her head up to see her teammates and deliver the ball on the money.
And she's got her group playing exceptionally well right now. Arizona on a 12-2 run. They call number 25 in white again, and good defense in the post from the Seawolves, but the steal and another opportunity for Arizona as Trinity Baptiste in on that rebound.
Well, Stony Brook just hasn't been ready off a make or a miss for that Arizona pressure. They've got to find a guard quickly and just secure that ball because Arizona's looking to force a turnover right off a make or miss.
Book is spotting up from three. She saw it. She got it. It goes down. Ari McDonald, 7 quick points for the Wildcats. They're bearing down early on. 3 for 4 from the floor. Folks, it's win or go home in this first round of the NCAA tournament. Had always envisioned playing on this stage, and now she has the opportunity to do so. She's with the Wildcats. 4 quick points for the grad transfer.
Such a physical presence on the floor, and you know, coming into this NCAA tournament, she talked about this is her 5th year playing in college, and they always had spring breaks. She didn't want a spring break this year. They want to do something with this 3 seed in this Arizona Wildcats team.
Well, Arizona making their first trip to the NCAA tournament since 2005 in search of their first win in 16 years. Dia Barnes, the head coach here, and what she's just done to really build this program, going from a team that was finishing in the bottom half of the Pac-12 to now a contender playing deep into March.
And something else that Trinity Baptiste said is, as reporters were talking to her, take a look at this foul, that they were congratulating Arizona on all the success that they've had and making history and all that. And Baptiste said, we haven't done anything. Straight up, you know?
Yeah.
And when you have a leader like that helping establish the culture, which is something that Dia Barnes, now in her 5th year, has been really trying to do and has done that as they're here in the NCAA tournament. She has loved what Trinity Baptiste, the toughness and mentality, has brought to this team.
Baptiste out of Tampa, Florida. Families on hand, limited fans in the stands for this tournament, but still those close to these players can witness it and enjoying basketball as you're watching it at home. We're so glad that you're here tuning in. Bindu Yaney, the transfer out of Indiana, whistled for the personal foul. Leah Amari Wool at the free throw line. Knocks down both. Stony Brook trailing by 7. Kate Reese has it stolen away. Neymar Vargas Reyes on the steal. First turnover of the day.
Yeah, and the Seawolves switching to a man on that possession, and I like this switch. You want to make Arizona uncomfortable. This game is fast.
Yeah.
Fast. Right out.
And that favors Arizona, right? They want to try to push the tempo in this one.
They like to play fast, up and down, get out in transition, force turnovers. Stony Brook's really solid within that half-court defense.
But Baptiste, just better offense there. Still perfect from the floor. 3 for 3 for Trinity Baptiste. You talked about making the most of her opportunity, getting a chance for the first time in her career to play on this stage, and you see how much it means to her. Coming out hedging, and there's the foul on Baptiste.
Just a nice little turnaround for the senior. And she's from Tampa, Florida, so growing up, she lived about 10 minutes from the U.S. campus. Tiffany, a place that you and I know very well, Floridians. And she used to go and watch USF play UConn when UConn was in the American Athletic Conference. So she imagined herself and witnessed that dominance, that she one day could get to the NCAA tournament and have a magical moment herself. And clearly enjoying it out there on the floor.
Just a personal plug. She also went to my high school, Hillsborough High School. Represent the Big Red, HHS.
Pretty good high school.
Yeah, we produced some pretty special athletes. You may know a guy by the name of Doc Gooden, followed baseball. Carl Everett played for the Red Sox. Several outstanding football players. We could run down the list.
And Tiffany
Arizona. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I did a little something. Appreciate that, Stephanie. 6 to go on the shot clock. Deep 3 from McDonald, missing there. Warren coming down with the rebound. Warren, who we mentioned, had 31 points in that championship game of the America East. Is still scoreless here.
Arizona has been all over Annie Warren, too, as another transition opportunity here for Sam Thomas.
Sam Thomas, that's a player that Coach Barnes wanted to see be more involved in the game plan on offense, and there she takes advantage in transition.
Playing the passing lanes is a 6-foot senior, Sam Thomas. One of the smartest players on the floor. How do you play for her?
You saw that active set of hands, very good defender. 11-point advantage for Arizona, and they'll get the ball right back.
You know, Tiffany, I think Stony Brook just has to finish this 2 minutes. You know, obviously Arizona playing with a lot of momentum, and then just take a breath, right? Just settle into your offense. Arizona's done a nice job of really taking Annie Warren out of the game offensively, which is where the Seawolves really rely on to score. But they've had some nice defensive stops, just kind of putting together offense and defense.
Well, that's an area that Coach McCombs wanted to see, was that they do a better job of rebounding, taking advantage of their opportunities on the board. And here, with just under a minute and a half to go in this first quarter, Seawolves just trying to settle in and maybe calm some nerves in their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. 11th turnover of this first quarter for Stony Brook, and they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Tune in to ESPN and the ESPN app Thursday at 7 when NC State takes on Colorado State in the first game of an NIT quarterfinals doubleheader. Make sure you visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Well, this is just such a special time of year, Steffi. So much fun. These players put it all out on the line. We saw that yesterday. We got a chance to call that Georgia Tech comeback. What an impressive win for Nell Fortner. She and her team advancing to the second round in that win over Stephen F. Austin. That was another track meet.
On with the wind a little bit.
Okay.
Not sure what touched her.
Well played there. Quickly off the inbound pass, the shot up, and the offensive rebound for Arizona, so they will reset. Shooting 59% in this first half. It'll go down a little bit there, but still an impressive clip. Shayna Pellington working her way, dribble drive to the basket. Bull on the three, misses there. Elena Puello with the rebound. Final seconds of the opening period. Pellington dishes it over. Puello for three, got it! That's the kind of first quarter it's been for these Arizona Wildcats. The 3 seed in the Mercado region. And the Wildcats have a ton of weapons. And look, folks, it was on the energy, the time, the effort that Caroline McCombs has put into getting teams into the NCAA tournament. Not just any trip, but their first one specifically. That's pretty special. 4 different teams. She did it once as a player at Youngstown State and then 3 times as a coach, as she's led the Stony Brook Seawolves here to the big dance.
And it's why she took this job. It's why she was hired, quite frankly, to get Stony Brook into the conversation of NCAA tournaments and dominance within their conference. She has been a proven winner her career.
Her Seawolves getting a couple of good looks. Nothing will go down, but in 7 seasons as the head coach, Steffi, she talked to us just about being process-oriented, right? Working the process, staying the course, and that's what's helped both she and her teams be successful.
Yeah, she talked about before that championship game where they took on Maine, some of her alums came back and spoke to the team and actually helped some of that scout. And she said it was so special to hear some of my former players come back and talk to my team, but not only just about the moment and basketball, but helping scout some of the team and strengths and weaknesses. She really said that made, you know, her day, and just what she's been able to do with this program and impact lives on and off the court. We'll get into Asia Dingle and her story, 3 in red.
Yeah, I think, too, as Dingle takes the shot here, off the backboard, banking it, so a perfect time to talk about our girl, Asia Dingle, the junior out of Boston, Massachusetts. This is a player who started her career at Kent State, decided to transfer and get closer back to home. Her father, Maurice, was ill at the time. In her season debut with the Seawolves, she dropped a season high 22 points, but also shortly after that game, she learned of the passing of her father, Maurice, who died of a stroke at the age of 54. This is a player who has just been through so much, and she's overcome adversity within this season. And, you know, obviously this is a time where she would love to have her dad. She knew that he always wanted her to play in the NCAA tournament, and you know he's looking down, especially proud of her.
Yeah, he always wanted her. Dream was to get to the NCAA tournament, and, you know, this is where Caroline McCombs comes into the picture, because she also lost her father at a young age. So she felt like she was just happened to be the right coach to take Asia Dingle on and to help guide her through a really tough emotional journey of losing her father, but something that they could bond over. So playing with a chip on her shoulder and a heavy heart this season, but performing at a tremendous level.
And right now, her team continuing to see that lead widen as Arizona up by a big margin here in this second quarter. And this is what Arizona wanted to do.
Yeah.
Get Stony Brook out of the ball game, push it in transition, the tempo, and they're just a little out of control.
Check the speed of Aari McDonald. Again, the court vision, no dribbles. That's what makes it so pretty and so fast and so efficient for Arizona in transition. When you've got a point guard who can put the ball on the money at the right time, it's in full stride. Sometimes point guards might leave you out to dry, right? Where they dish it to you and you get a charge, or that's what Aari McDonald does such a good job of putting her teammates in a good spot to score.
Started her career with Adia Barnes at the University of Washington, transferred over once Barnes took the job in Tucson, and it's a player who's a Wooden Award finalist, Lieberman finalist for best point guard, good defense, and several bodies just falling on the deck. You see everyone leaving it all out on the court as it's win or go home, Steffi. Survive and advance. The winner of this one will go on to play BYU. Boy, that's an upset, because yesterday we saw the better seeds hold chalk, right? They all advanced 16-0 for the first time since 2010. Already today we've seen BYU flip the script.
Well, BYU is a capable team. Some people wondered how they got in the tournament as an at-large bid, because Gonzaga at the buzzer beat BYU in their conference tournament. But Paisley Harding, she had herself a day, as we heard Andrea and Monica talk about. Arizona having themselves a day against Stony Brook.
The freshman Lauren Ware with the bucket and the contact.
Stony Brook just hasn't had an answer for the size, the speed, and the physicality of Arizona. Lauren Ware, a 6'5" freshman, plays with a lot of energy, comes off the bench. She's going to be a star. She is just scratching the surface for Adia Barnes.
Two-time North Dakota Gatorade Player of the Year, outstanding athlete, as she plays volleyball as well. That one blocked from behind by Yanni. And right now, the defensive intensity of Coach Barnes' team is just overwhelming Stony Brook at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to get looks, they're trying to get shots at the basket, but it's really the length along the perimeter. And then when they get into the paint, the Seawolves met with some physicality and size. Look at that, just 3 for 17 for Stony Brook today. But Tiffany, something that they can do, which is how you counter size, is you shot fake, you pass fake. You play on 2 feet. You don't try to match the same type of length and speed that you're going to see from Arizona. You gotta beat them through shot fakes and pass fakes. Move without the basketball, back cut. And there's ways to counter that.
You just gotta find some rhythm on offense, and the young lady with the ball in her hands, Asia Dingle, is one of those players who's a catalyst for the Seawolves. 11 points for Asia Dingle. She's responsible for more than 70% of the points scored by the Seawolves in this ball game. Good tied up there. Good defense by Warren.
on display. 12 points so far in this game, getting it done in transition. The mid-range game can't stop her, but also knocking down the three. 2 for 5 from behind the arc. The pace, the speed, the decision-making is elite from the senior.
Well, she's got elite speed and quickness. Will be a top pick in this summer's WNBA draft. And you see the tail of the tape thus far in this ball game. It's been all Arizona so far in this first half. Opening round game for both of these teams. Stony Brook in their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. Arizona searching for their first win in 16 years. Kate Reese with the ball in hands, number 25, Arizona's first McDonald's All-American. She's gotten on the board with 4 points. In fact, everyone who has touched the floor for the Wildcats has points registered in this one. Wonderful drive, just quickness. Talk about a good athlete. There's one right there in Bindu Yanni, the junior out of Portland.
Yeah, and she is a transfer from Indiana, came to Arizona because it felt like home. Adia Barnes had been recruiting her since as long as she can remember.
And when you look at this roster, and given the fact that, you know, she was at Indiana, so she has tournament experience with the Hoosiers, Pellington, and McDonald. Also have been to the big dance before.
And Bindu Yanni, she just has terrific speed and ability to get to the rim. You know, and it wasn't easy. I mean, she blew out her Achilles. And it was a long road back. It took about 9 months, and so her mindset kind of changed, and just hungry every time she's out on the floor, knowing when you have a serious injury like an Achilles, you know, there's no guarantee you're going to be as explosive when you come back. And she is considered to be one of the best defenders on this Arizona team, and had some familiarity with the staff because she played with Jackie Nard, who's an assistant coach for Adia Barnes. She played with her sister. You might remember her, Jamie Nard, for Tennessee.
Yeah, Jamie Nard for Tennessee, yeah.
It was a family affair for why Bindu chose Arizona. And she's been a welcomed addition. I think Arizona has really benefited from the transfer portal.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at that starting lineup, and just up and down the roster, they continue to dip their toe into that transfer portal. And you're seeing, you know, every level of program kind of catch up to that, as Power 5 conferences have really utilized the transfer portal more in recent years.
I think there was criticism when it initially it was so overcrowded. There was players transferring left and right, but if you find the right blend of transfers, it can really change your program. Look at the success Arizona's had this year. You think of Texas A&M that has got 4 or 5 Power 5 transfers. Whew. Arizona, offensive. I mean, we talked about their defense, Tiffany, but the way they're playing right now offensively, this is a dangerous team.
Right now, nothing can stop the Arizona Wildcats. They're looking good. Team begins Saturday on TBS and TBS, or stream games on the March Madness Live app from anywhere. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. How are you feeling?
I don't want to talk about it.
I was just going to ask,
Usually every day,
all of the upsets that we've seen.
I'm like, how many did I get right? How many? I didn't even look last night. We finished our games. I didn't look.
You may be feeling some type of way. Oral Roberts taking down your Florida Gators. Everybody needs a Sister Jean in their life. Your Loyola Chicago downing Illinois. Man.
I hate
what a tournament
picking them. Yeah, the men's bracket has just been chaos. I'm just so curious how on our women's side, when that starts to really pick up. I mean, it was pretty much chalk yesterday, but we saw the upset earlier with BYU over Rutgers. But we've got some interesting matchups going on right now. Wright State taking on Arizona, and they're up by 13. That was a really intriguing matchup to me.
Arkansas.
Wright State against Arkansas. Arkansas loves the 3-ball. They're 2 for 12 right now, so that's something we're watching.
How about also out of the SEC, we had the opportunity to cover the conference for much of the year. Georgia doing their thing. Alabama, what a great story that they've been, and congratulations to Christy Curry and company making their first tournament appearance since 1999. The Crimson Tide rolled past UNC. Jordan Lewis, one of those seniors, had a fantastic ball game, 30-plus point ball game today.
Watching Wake Forest yesterday, they hadn't gone to the NCAA tournament since '88, and I think Alabama was the second best story. Kate Reese showing some emotion, a lot of motion on the floor today. Both teams eager to take the court, and this is just what Kate Reese does. So consistent. She started every game of her career. That steady leadership.
And a player who really worked on herself, right? Getting stronger, taking the weight room more seriously in the off-season, a 2-time All-12 performer. And Annie Warren, who we mentioned, had a terrific tournament championship game, has still been held scoreless here.
Yeah. I mean, 31 in their conference tournament championship. Four threes. I haven't seen a single good look.
And both she and Asia Dingle are a big part of the show for the Seawolves. Tangled up both Reese and Haley Zeiss. Zeiss, a player who took advantage of an extra year of eligibility. Currently a grad student at Stony Brook. Bellington has to get a shot up, 3 to go on the shot clock. And Warren appeared to be unsure. That buzzer went off. So right now, the officials still trying to figure out maybe how much time is supposed to go on the clock after that shot. It did hit the rim. You see Annie Warren standing underneath the basket, collecting the rebound for the Seawolves. So they're just trying to sort out how much should go on the game clock. And so this is a good full-length discussion here. And I think we may have gotten it sorted out.
Based on the timing, we're going to add 1.4 seconds back to the game clock.
All right, so the game clock will reflect 21.4 seconds to go before halftime. Remember, you stick around for our AT&T 5G halftime report.
Here comes the full court pressure from Arizona, which has caused a lot of problems for the Seawolves today. I want to build off something positive if you're Stony Brook. No turnovers and a good shot.
And going down hard is Asia Dingle. Dingle, who was hassled all the way up that right sideline, is slow to get up. May have banged knees there with Pellington. and then the hard fall to the floor. Junior Dingle collects herself and knocks down the first of 2 free throws. Just before the end of the second quarter, a foul on the drive by Pellington. And she will shoot 2. Again, just a quick reminder to our viewers coming up, the AT&T 5G halftime report. They'll dive deeper into the Cougars knocking off the 6-seed Rutgers Scarlet Knights, as that's the end of the first quarter. A full day of action, still first round. And here in the Alamo Dome, Arizona is rolling 63% from the in 87 previous games. Could make it 88 here today, and guess what? She already has. How about that?
That's unbelievable. Like,
yeah,
consistency to do that. You know, teams are coming for you too, to not have like a bad game where you have 8 points.
Yeah, no, and what you have to say about this Arizona team is that everyone has found a way to get involved. You know, at points in the season, and Coach Barnes has talked about the fact that sometimes you just sit back and watch, and in amazement of just what Arizona McDonald can do, because, you know, she's projected to go in the, you know, first round of the WNBA draft come this summer. But everyone has decided to step up their game, and this is where Arizona can be most dangerous continuing throughout this tournament.
You know, Renee Montgomery made a really good point during the Connecticut game about Paige Beckers. When you're so reliant on one player, if that one player has a bad game, your team has a bad game. So you can see why when everybody's coming for Arizona McDonald, it puts a lot of pressure on her to have a good game so that Arizona can have a good game. But when they have the balance like we're seeing today, that's why, you know, they finished the way they did in the Pac-12. I mean, that's why they are a 3 seed.
Yeah, finished second behind the #1 overall seed, Stanford Cardinal. 8 players today have scored for the Wildcats. Making it tough for Annie Warren, one of the team's leading scorers, held scoreless here today in transition, and that's Arizona McDonald, the All-American Pac-12 Player of the Year. Awesome on the defensive end. 2 times racked up the conference honor for Defensive Player of the Year. Gainey over to Ware. And Asia Dingle, who has taken a few dings here today, falling hard to the floor a couple of times. Once more, slow to get up, just trying to walk it off.
I mean, she's been everywhere for Stony Brook. I mean, she's been leading the way and taking a lot of shots too. Remember, she was like dove fully out of bounds to end the second quarter.
Dingle with 14 of Stony Brook's 20 points here this afternoon. Once more, bumps in to a defender. This time it's Arizona McDonald, and Dingle was whistled for the personal foul. Caroline McCombs taking her 4th program to their first berth in the NCAA tournament, once as a player, 3 times here as a coach. So, you know, when you look at both of these programs, Steffi, these were teams that were poised to make it to the tournament last year had it not been canceled due to COVID-19. And so what you've seen is both of these teams put in the work, impressive showings in their conference standings. Seawolves winning the America East Championship.
Yeah, a lot of unfinished business for Stony Brook because they were having such a good season a year ago. And I feel like I have a personal tie to Stony Brook because...
Ooh, swatting that out of here. Who was Lauren Ware? Hold on, gotta wait. And appreciate the defensive effort here.
That's why you see the upside for the freshman at 6'5", just scratching the surface. But Tiffany, I was supposed to call that America East game.
Oh yeah.
And it hadn't been declared yet that it was canceled. I was at the airport in Atlanta waiting to get on a flight to fly up to New York to do this game. I didn't get on the flight, and that's when literally the whole entire country shut down. And it, you know, that was my last memory of college basketball. Last season was the Stony Brook America East Championship.
And this is a team that put together a program record 28 wins a season ago. And this is a group that's just been so tough, resilient. As resilient has been kind of the theme we've heard from so many coaches throughout this season, right, Steffi?
I feel like it's the theme for all of college athletes and for the nation, quite frankly. Everybody has been resilient and had to adapt on the fly, try to make whatever you do work and be safe doing it.
Trinity Baptiste checking in now. We chronicled her story earlier, wanting to get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Finally has an opportunity to do so before her college basketball career could come to an end. And she's here with the Arizona Wildcats. But what's been fun too, Steffi, is just hearing the coaches talk about the ways that they have had to be more creative and innovative in keeping the team together, because sometimes it's about talent, but beyond that, it's about togetherness as a team.
Yeah.
When people are coming together and gelling at the right time. So, you know, Dia Barnes talked about how, you know, whether it's hallway yoga or coloring books.
I love hallway yoga.
I was like, sign me up for that the next time we go to a hotel. Huh? I want to try that out. Or for Stony Brook, you know, karaoke, painting, you know, whatever it takes to try to keep that cohesiveness as Baptiste could move inside.
Well, these are two coaches that are very player-first minded, but do it a little bit differently. So Adia Barnes will go one-on-one with somebody, and what do you need? What do you think? You know, she keeps it as real as it gets. And what I liked about Caroline McCombs is she has a leadership council for her team. You have to interview with her, and you have to sit down and have a meeting to get on it. And that way she meets with her leadership council. What do you guys think? What do you need here? And they can effectively communicate with her. And that's really something that she's been proud of in terms of communicating and keeping an open line with her team.
Just a reminder to our viewers, the NCAA Women's Championship first round continues later today on ESPN. At 4 o'clock, you've got Mount St. Mary's taking Michaela Onionware. Really good player for UCLA.
Yeah, she's a top 10 draft pick. She's a special player.
And a bucket there by Mackenzie Boucher, the senior out of Pittsburgh. One of 6 seniors for the Seawolves. It's just like a full menu of games, and you can see it on our ESPN networks. It's just like keep serving it up. All day, all night, Erin McDonald taking a spill to the floor. She's tough, bounces back up, rather, shakes it off. She'll go to the free throw line.
You know, Ari's just such a special player and so strong physically. You wonder at 5'6", how is she so explosive? How about some deadlifts? Guys, this is 315 pounds for reps. Tiff, you know this is like, I'm all up in this, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Trying to get your body weight.
So your bag.
315. Well, we had the logs yesterday, right? Natasha Mack. Coincidentally, these are two of the top defenders in the country. Natasha Mack was lunging logs. Ari McDonald is deadlifting 315. Not a coincidence. These are two of the best defenders in the country.
Bucket drops for Erlet Scott.
But we're going to do hallway yoga.
Transfer out of Providence. Yeah, we'll do it. You know, Kanye talked about his workout plan. Perhaps we should get on Ari McDonald's workout plan, huh?
Well, it's a lot of weight. That's
hot girl summer on the way. Hot girl summer on the way.
Look at that beach body.
Drilling it from the outside is Kate Reese. A finalist for the Katrina McLean Award given to the top power forward. And Scott back-to-back buckets for the Seawolves. Erlet Scott out of Brooklyn, New York, decided to come back to her home state.
So now if you're Adia Barnes and you take Ari McDonald out, you want to see how your offense runs in terms of fluidity. How does it look? Because there might be games where she's in foul trouble if they continue to move on in the tournament. You want to make sure your offense can run without her.
Stepped right into the passing lane, stolen away in transition again, left short by Puello, and a missed opportunity there, but that's been few and far between for Arizona. We just talked about the defensive pressure, just relentless. Thanks so much. I'll tell you, Wright State, they continue a trend, a theme here on day 2 of the first round of the NCAA Women's Championship.
Drea knows, Tiff. Drea knows. We were in studio talking about the matchups for the SEC teams. That was a tough draw for Arkansas. Wright State, defensively and athletically, could cause some problems. Still plenty of time to go there. But it's been all Arizona, Tiffany, in our game. I mean, from the start, just their defense has been suffocating against Stony Brook.
That's a great way to say it. Just nothing they could do but good defense in hands there by Erlet Scott. Scott with the steal and finishes it off on the other end. That's one of the bright spots this afternoon for the Seawolves as Scott has come on here in the second half. But Arizona, as you mentioned, Steffi, has just been able to put together a terrific game plan and execute it.
Well, remember when I said when Ari McDonald went to the bench, how would the offense look? And Stony Brook there with the steal and an easy bucket for them. And I think Elena Puello, who's someone Adia Barnes thinks could have a really strong impact for this team, but she's got to do a better job handling the pressure.
Puello, a sophomore out of Spain, comes in with a lot of international experience, having played with the Spanish national team. Wool leaves it short. Reese on the rebound. Quayle lets it fly. The Stony Brook team coming in out of the northern shore of Long Island made their way to San Antonio. First ever trip to the NCAA tournament. And this has been a special year as Gigi Gonzalez, one of the spark plugs off the bench, fouled hard. Gonzalez will shoot a couple. Smiles from Gonzalez as that bounces in. And that's what you want to see. You know, obviously, Stony Brook certainly wish they could have a different outcome on the board thus far, but it's a time where you just enjoy this stage and phase because there are a whole lot of other teams that didn't make it here, so to be one of the 64 to punch their ticket to the big dance is a big deal.
I mean, just getting to this moment is a big deal. Clearly, Adia Barnes wasn't happy with her team's offense, put Ari McDonald back in the game. You can see her right away communicating with everybody, controlling the traffic.
McDonald responsible for 16 points in 18 minutes. Turnover there. Gonzalez with the bounce pass up ahead, left up and in. Scott continuing to have a solid second half for the Seawolves.
Tremendous fight by the Seawolves to finish this third quarter. Really impressed with their energy defensively.
And just out of control, McDonald whistled for the charge, but Stony Brook, you talked about just that fight that we've seen out of them.
What a pretty dime off the steal. It's Gonzalez.
Teo in the building. Check out baby girl. Really like the lanyard right now. I am eating all of that up, as Capri is probably wanting to eat the lanyard.
You know, Barnes is the only female coach of a top 10 team who is raising 2 small children, and the only one in the top 25 with a baby. And she's managed to juggle both. I know a lot of coaches out there have kids, but I remember when we took the Zoom call with her, she's like, hey guys, don't judge me. This is what it's like traveling with a newborn and a 4 or 5-year-old.
That three goes down from Wool, but you think about what Barnes has done, taking over her alma mater where she was an absolute baller, all-time leading scorer in program history, went on to a pro career, won a championship, the WNBA with the Seattle Storm, coached with the group.
Didn't even know she wanted to coach.
Yeah.
That is the most interesting thing with the way she's been able to turn around Arizona and the way that she has done it. The fastest coach in Arizona history to get to 75 wins. But when she was broadcasting for the Seattle Storm, where she won a WNBA championship with, she didn't necessarily know that she wanted to get into coaching. And Kevin McGruffin ended up meeting, and he offered her a job. She didn't even know the salary. She didn't even think to ask, which I thought was hilarious. And here she is. She has built a family culture atmosphere, a real one.
And that's what you've heard just all throughout when you're talking about that transfer portal and how do you get players, you know, to come. You know, Barnes has talked about just the type of relationships that she's been able to build with players. And I think one of the things that stood out, we talked about, you know, Trinity Baptiste coming over from Virginia Tech, and she thought she wanted to stay close to home, originally from Tampa. And then she said, okay, I had a quick phone call with Coach Barnes, and then something just clicked there, and it was different. Something was different about Coach Barnes, and anytime you just interface with her, talk to her, you immediately know, yeah, she was an awesome player and an awesome individual.
Her ability to relate to players is obviously very special because she's worn the jersey and she was the best at Arizona. I mean, she was arguably one of the best players to ever play for Arizona. So when she's trying to talk to Aari McDonald to come to Arizona, let's do special things. And she leaves Washington, and they've been able to do this. And when she talks about some of the seniors, and it's like, remember when we were getting blown out our first year, and now we're winning these games.
Yeah. Well, you just think about the first 2 years, it was, losing seasons, right? So Aari McDonald's first year at Arizona, they had 6 wins. And then they go on that next year to win the NIT championship. Last year, they would have made the tournament. Gets canceled. And they make their way back to the big dance for the first time since 2005. Well, the puck drops on an ESPNU men's ice hockey matchup when Michigan and Minnesota Duluth face off Friday at 4 Eastern in the Fargo Regional Semis, also available on the ESPN app. You can visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. About the #1 overall seed, North Dakota, that's all I can tell you. I'm not going to even front. I got nothing more than that. We're in a good season right now. Also, you got gymnastics, softball, baseball.
It's a good time of the year. Spring. I think it's because I was born in the spring. You tend to favor the time of the year you were born. I don't know. Maybe that's just a random hypothesis I have. But what's your favorite time of the year?
Well, the holidays, Christmas. I was born in December, so like.
Okay, see?
Yeah, give me my gifts. Show me my love. Wait a minute, when were you born, Steffi?
March.
Oh, special month. What's got it popping in the summer?
I love the spring, and I love March. March has been fun. So far, we've had really entertaining games, men's and women's. We were lucky to watch Natasha Mack yesterday. I mean, she was outstanding. We'll see her tomorrow against Stanford.
And then how about that unbelievable comeback for Georgia Tech? 5 seed, taking down Stephen F. Austin. We caught the first half of that game, and we were like, Lady Jacks in total control. They were one of those teams that was projected to perhaps have one of the best chances of pulling off the upset. 17-point deficit. Yellow Jackets came back to win. Tied for the 4th largest margin or comeback victory in NCAA history. Tournament history.
Unbelievable performance in that second half by Lorella Kubai, who came back after taking a shot to the head, and she was tough as nails. Big win for Nell Fortner, who's turning around Georgia Tech as Adia Barnes has turned around Arizona. Stony Brook hanging tough. A lot of pride.
Baptiste. I don't know if y'all know, but she has had a pretty good ball game. 6 of 7 rather from the floor. 13 points for Baptiste. And oh yeah, Maryland, the 2 seed, is coming your way over on ESPN. They'll take on Mount St. Mary's. Oh yeah, this is the time of year where you spill out your emotion onto the floor. An opportunity to be one of the last 64 teams standing coming into this weekend, and Arizona is making the most of this opportunity. They're up big, and if they hold pace as they should, they will go on to face BYU, the 11 team who pulled off the upset earlier today over the higher seeded Rutgers.
Just so much at stake, and that usually draws out so many emotions for players. You win, you move on, you lose, you go home. And I felt like there's been a switch for Stony Brook. Did you kind of feel it too? Just a sense of urgency, more passion, more energy, just defensively getting after it too.
Well, Caroline McComb's team came in with a 15-5 record, champions out of the America East. Have shown great heart here. In addition to fight stolen away by Haley Zeiss. Zeiss and company up ahead. Missed opportunity. You know, she's one of those stories, Steffi, that when we got a chance to talk to Coach McCombs about, you know, it was really cool because this is a player who's already graduated. You know, finished in 3 years, outstanding student, but she wanted to come back. She wanted to be a part of something special with the Seawolves.
Too much Arizona there, but yeah, for Haley Zeiss, it was she called her coach and said, "Will you have me back?" Yeah, that's special. That's special that they can have that kind of open and honest conversation, but also it's kind of cute too, right? Hey, Coach, will you have me back? You know, instead of just assuming, "Hey, I'm coming back."
Right. Currently a grad student pursuing a master's in higher education administration. And was turned on to the tournament back when Pitt hosted JMU back in 2007. That year, Tennessee went on to win the national championship, but that's when she saw up close and personal and became endeared to the game even more.
What has been remarkable for Arizona defensively today is they have held Annie Warren scoreless. She had 31 points in their last game. She has 0. I mean, Asia Dingle can't do it all on her own. Neither can Ari McDonald. It takes a team now when you're in the NCAA tournament. But to hold her scoreless is fantastic. I mean, that's taking it personal.
Meanwhile, Trinity Baptiste is soaking up every moment of this experience. 18 points now, shooting 8 of 10 from the floor. And contesting that shot there from Warren. Timeout taken on the floor, and a great time to remind you that the NCAA.
I loved her performance, and check this out, Tiff. When she was named the Pac-12 Player of the Year and the Co-Defensive Player of the Year, the last time Arizona had a Conference Player of the Year, guess who it was?
Let me see, Coach, because she was a baller, right?
Adia Barnes.
Oh, yeah. Last time this team made it to the Sweet 16 was 1998. They're looking to get there and beyond as they will cruise on to a comfortable win here. They'll face off against Indiana. Excuse me, they'll face off against BYU in the next round. Indiana also advanced in the Mercado region. Minatai Z with the foul. McDonald looking on. 20 points for Erie McDonald.
And she could have left last year and decided to come back with the mindset of unfinished business. Obviously wanted to get to the NCAA tournament with Adia Barnes. She did it at Washington. They are 1 minute away from moving on to the second round.
And for this Stony Brook program, 1 minute left in their season. Again, it's worth noting the first ever NCAA tournament berth in program history, winning the America East Championship. And this team with 6 seniors on the roster made the Sea Wolves proud, did something that had never been done before in program history, and they're pumped up about it on the sideline. They're excited for Z, the sophomore out of Paris, and that's the attitude that you love to see during this time of year. Down big, but still
just locked in.
They've got something to cheer about, yeah. Finding the silver lining in it all for Zeiss, Pagan, Boucher, Wool, Cox, and Johnson, the 6 seniors for Stony Brook. As time winds down in their season. Quick reminder,